Hello everyone. Today we are discussing a new topic of the chapter conic sections, and that topic is ellipse. Already we have discussed something about ellipse, that is how we are getting that elliptic shape when a plane is intersected with the cone, double named cone. At that time, with the condition that alpha is less than beta less than 90, you will get the structure or the section as a elliptic shape. Now we will here study in detail what is ellipse. Okay, so ellipse is a set of all those points in the plane, the sum of whose distances from two fixed points is a constant in the plane. That is, if I am considering f1 and f2 as two fixed points, from this point you are taking those points, the sum of whose distance means, suppose p1 is a point and you are taking p1 f1 plus p1 f2, and that will be a constant, and it will be same as another point we are taking again p2, which has the same property, that is p2 f1 plus p2 f2 will give you the same constant. That means such points, the collection or the locus of those points which are satisfying this property, will give you the shape of an ellipse. Okay. Now these two fixed points are called the focus. Again you have two focus, so we will say them as a plural form, foci. Together we will say foci. If we are taking only one single, then it is focus. For parabola you have only one focus. Here for ellipse you have two foci. Okay. Now again this distance, that is this constant distance, will be every time greater than the distance between these two fixed points, that is these two foci. Okay. Now the midpoint of the line segment joining f1 and f2, that is the foci, is O, and this O is called the center of the ellipse. Again, the line segment passing through the foci, through these two foci, that is this AB, is called the major axis. AB is the major axis, and the line segment which is perpendicular to AB, that is perpendicular to the major axis and passing through the center of the ellipse, is called the minor axis, that is CD is called the minor axis. And the end points of the major axis, what are they? A and B. Those are known as vertices of the ellipse. Now the length of the major axis, that is the length of AB, is 2a, normally denoted as 2 small a, and the length of the minor axis is denoted by, that is CD. The length of CD is denoted by 2b. Then length of semi major axis, that is it is a half of that, so you will get semi major axis as AO or OB. The length will be A, small a, and length of semi minor axis will be, that is CO or OD, will be B. And distance between the foci, that is distance between F1, F2, the length of F1, F2, this will be 2C. So these are the actually notations used: length of major axis 2A, length of minor axis 2B, and distance between the foci as 2C. Now we will just discuss what is the relation connecting A, B and C. Now let us see what is the relation connecting A, B and C. What is A? That is relationship between A, which is semi-major axis, semi-minor axis, and distance of one of the foci from the center. Okay, so what is the relation connecting this A, B and C? For that we are considering first a point P on one end of the major axis. This is the major axis, and I have taken P on one end of the major axis as P, and we will get, that is we are finding out what will be that distance sum. What distance sum from the foci? The sum of the distance, that is Pf1 plus Pf2 will be what? Pf1 plus Pf2 is equal to, what is Pf1? You just see this length is A, this length is B, because this total is the minor axis, so it is 2B. This total is your major axis, so it is 2A. So semi major axis is A, semi minor axis is B, and this total distance between the foci is 2C, so that this is C, this is also C, because O is acting as a midpoint of F1, F2. Okay. So now when we find out what is Pf1, Pf1 is this distance. That means here I get A, this is C, so I can write Pf1 as A plus C. Okay. Now what will be Pf2? Pf2 is this distance. So here if I consider PF2 as PO minus F2, I will get A minus C. So this distance PF2 is A minus C. So what you are getting here is 2A. PF1 plus PF2 is 2A. Let it be there. Now again we are taking another point Q on one of the minor axis. Okay, so here I have taken Q. Now we will find out what is QF1 plus QF2. QF1 plus QF2. Now just see, this is here right angled and here you have C, this distance is B. So that you can find out this by Pythagoras theorem as root of B square plus C square. And QF1 is also root of B square plus C square. QF2 is also root of B square plus C square. So that you will get it to be root of B square plus C square plus root of B square plus C square, which is equal to 2 times root of B square plus C square. Now since both P and Q are on the ellipse, the sum which we have written here should give you a constant. That is a property of ellipse, so that this distance should be equal to this distance. Okay, equating them we will get the relation connecting ABC. Now since P and Q lie or are points on the ellipse, PF1 plus PF2 should be equal to QF1 plus QF2. That is, you are getting 2A is equal to 2 root of B square plus C square, or A is equal to root of B square plus C square. Squaring both sides you will get A square equal to B square plus C square, or C square is equal to A square minus B square, or C is equal to root of A square minus B square. Okay, either this or this should be in your mind. This is very easy to remember because here A, that length is the maximum. So A square is giving you the sum of the other two squares, that is B square plus C square. Like that you can remember the relation connecting ABC in ellipse. Now as we change the value of C, or you can say A has been fixed, the distance A has been fixed, and we are just changing C from 0 to A, that is this length, no, that is just like this and this, it can vary. So from 0 to A it can vary, and if we are varying that, the structure, that is the elliptic shape, will be varying its size and shape. Like this, say shape in the sense it will be elliptic, but like if we are just making it as coming like this will, what will happen, this will come like this, means that is this distance is reducing, means this will increase. So it will become like this it can form. And if this is being extended to A, so that this B will get reduced. Okay, so it will become like this, smaller and smaller, like this. Understood? So as we vary C from 0 to A, we are getting special cases. Like if first case, if I am saying that when C is made as 0, when C is 0 means this distance is coming closer like this. Okay, at that time what will happen is your C square is equal to A square minus B square. In this relation if you substitute, you will get A square minus B square is 0. Or you can say A square is equal to B square, or A is equal to B. Now when A is equal to B, what will happen is this length is equal to this length, right? This length is equal to this length. That means you are getting a circle. So circle is actually a special case of ellipse. When in ellipse A becomes equal to B, you will get a circle. Understood? So when C is equal to 0, you will get A equal to B. That means the ellipse becomes a circle. Okay, ellipse becomes a circle. And if you have C to be approaching to A, that is if C is equal to A, then what will happen in this one? B should be 0, right? This implies that B is equal to 0. Now when B is equal to 0 means, this is like contrasting here, it will come and it will become like B is 0 means these two, when we just compress them, what will happen? It will become a straight line. Okay, so you will get a line segment. It will reduce to a line segment like this, F1, F2. Okay. So here you have F1 and F2 to be emerged or immersed in the center itself. Here itself you will have that F1 as well as F2, but here in the second case you have this to be a line segment. Okay, so first case will give you a circle and second case will give you a line segments there. Next is eccentricity, and eccentricity is the ratio between C, that is the distance from the center to one of the foci, and A, which is the distance from the center to one of the radii. That is, it is actually normally denoted as E. Eccentricity is denoted by E and it is equal to C by A. C is the distance of one of the focus from the center and A is the distance of the vertex, that is from one of the vertices from the center. So you can write, if you want to find out what is C, C is the focus, okay, and then C, if you want to write it in terms of eccentricity, then C is equal to AE. Suppose in the question E is given, A also is given, so you can find out what is C. Okay, so C in terms of E is A into E. Next thing is standard equations of an ellipse. Again, for parabola you had 4 types of orientations, and here for ellipse you have 2 types of orientations. Okay, and you know that the simplest of the parabolic form was when its vertex was the origin, and the simplest form of the circle was when its center was at the origin. Likewise, ellipse, the form of ellipse is simplest when its center is at the origin, that is 0, 0. Okay, so you have actually 2 orientations of ellipse. First one is this. Here you can see that the major axis is having the foci, and we know that the major axis length is 2a, so that the coordinate of these vertices are, that is A and B are a comma 0, it is on the x axis, okay, and minus a comma 0. So major axis is on the x axis, so the coordinates is something comma 0. Likewise, again the foci will have its coordinates as c comma 0 and minus c comma 0, because this length you can now see that this is 2c. Here you have 2a, the total length. Okay, now for the minor axis again the length is 2b. So the coordinate again, it is minor axis is on the y axis, so the coordinate of these points C and D will be 0 comma b and 0 comma minus b. Okay, now go for the equation. This is the equation, standard equation of ellipse when the major axis is the y-axis. What is the equation? X square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1. Now you can remember, like when you have on the x-axis the major axis, the length of major axis is 2a. So x and a are related. That means x square's denominator will be a square. And on y-axis you can see b coordinates, you have b there. So y square by b square equal to 1. Okay. Now one more form you have, which is this one. Here the orientation is like this. You can see that the foci, here foci is on the y-axis. That means this y-axis will be the major axis. Again it is on the y-axis, so the coordinate will be 0 comma c and 0 comma minus c. Again for the vertices you will have 0 comma a and 0 comma minus a. And the minor axis is on the x-axis, so the coordinate will be of the form b comma 0 and minus b comma 0. Hence the equation will be of the form, you just see on the x-axis you have this b here. Okay, so you have x square by b square plus y square by a square equal to 1. So whenever you have this, denominator should be the longer. Whatever denominator you have, whose denominator is the biggest, that axis will be the major axis. Understood? That is, this a means here this is the length. You can just see that this is longer than this one, right? So whenever you have the equation, in order to identify which will be the major axis, what you have to do is you have to go for the denominator value. When y square's denominator is bigger, that means y-axis is the major axis. When x square's denominator is bigger, it will be of this form. That means the major axis will be on the x-axis. Okay, so these are the 2 standard equations of the ellipse. X square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1, or you can have x square by b square plus y square by a square equal to 1. Now the ellipse will be every time symmetric about or with respect to its coordinate axis. That means with respect to the x and y axis, the ellipse will be symmetric. That means these four paths will be symmetrical in shape. Now why we are saying like that? Because if you take x comma y a point on the ellipse, then here minus x comma y, minus x comma minus y, and x comma minus y all will be points on the ellipse itself. So we can say that ellipse is symmetric with respect to the coordinate axis. And again, the major axis lies always on the focus lie always on the major axis. That means how will you find out the major axis? Again, if the equation is given, you have to go for the denominator. The major axis is on the x-axis if the coefficient of, you can say the denominator coefficient should be greater. For which one? That will give you the axis. Okay, that is major axis. Here if I am saying that x square's denominator is bigger, then I will say that x-axis is the major axis, and if y square's denominator is bigger, then we will say that y-axis is the major axis. Now next thing is latus rectum. Again, for parabola we have studied that latus rectum is the line segment which is perpendicular to the axis of parabola, passing through the focus, and its end points will lie on the parabola. Likewise, here for ellipse also, the latus rectum is a line segment which is perpendicular to the major axis. Here it is major axis, that is here in this figure you can see that the major axis is the x-axis. So it is perpendicular to the major axis, passing through one of the foci. That means either this or that, both are passing through the focus, both are actually latus rectum. Okay, so both will have the same length also. So it will be a line which is perpendicular to the major axis, then it will be passing through any one of the foci, and its end points should lie on the ellipse. That is the definition of latus rectum for the ellipse. Okay, now we will find out. So here you can say that CD and AB both are latus rectums, and this is the equation for the ellipse: x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1, and the latus rectum's length is not changing for both the orientations. Now we will find out what is the length of the latus rectum for an ellipse. Now we will find out what is the length of the latus rectum. First we have already discussed that this is the latus rectum. So length of latus rectum means you have to find out what is AB. First we are taking this AF2, this much of distance as L. That means in order to find out the length of latus rectum, you need AB or 2L. Okay, so first we are finding out what is L. Again, this distance we know it is C, right? So what will be the coordinate of A? It will be C comma L. Now again, C in terms of eccentricity is AE. So you will get the coordinate of A as AE comma L. Again, A is on the ellipse, so it will satisfy the equation of the ellipse. That means instead of x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1, x and y we can replace with AE comma L. That means the coordinates of A is or are, what you can say, now it is AE comma L. Okay, we have taken AF2 as L, right? Now since A lies on the ellipse x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1, what we will get, we are replacing x with the first coordinate, so you will get AE the whole square by a square plus L square by b square equal to 1, right? Now from here you get a square cancel, e square plus L square by b square equal to 1, or L square by b square equal to 1 minus e square. That will give you L square is equal to b square into 1 minus e square. Okay, now we are just placing it here, and now going for the thing which we know again, that is we know that what is eccentricity, E is equal to C by A we have, right? That means E square will be C square by A square. Now for ellipse, what is the condition or relation between a, b, c? C square is equal to a square minus b square. So we are replacing c square with a square minus b square divided by a square. This will give you, after separately dividing, you will get 1 minus b square by a square, right? So you have got e square as 1 minus b square by a square. Now replacing this value of e square in this equation. Okay, therefore putting e square equal to 1 minus b square by a square in 1, what we will get? L square is equal to b square into 1 minus of 1 minus b square by a square, which is equal to, here 1 get cancelled, positive. So b square into b square by a square. So it is b raised to 4 by a square. So L square you got it to be b square by a square. That means what will be? L is equal to b square by a, right? And L is actually AF2. And what is the length of the lattice rectum? It is AB. Therefore you will get 2L, which is the length of the lattice rectum, as 2 times of b square by a. That is, this 2b square by a is the length of lattice rectum. Okay, so 2b square by a is the length of lattice rectum.